Hey everyone, Amy Belzer-Tennant here, the Genealogy Reporter, and it is Genealogy Tip Tuesday. We're talking about finding living relatives or living people, whether they're related or not. That's because many times we run into a situation where it's not only the dead people we're looking for. We need to talk to somebody living. So there's lots of reasons why you might need to find a living relative. Maybe that long lost aunt or uncle who you are sure has the answers to your questions. Or you've heard of a distant cousin that has that family Bible or pictures that you're dying to get a hold of. I typically use these procedures for finding living people while working with my DNA matches. So many times a person does a DNA test just for fun. They have no intentions of logging back in to talk or communicate with other matches. Sometimes they don't even know that that's what has happened, that they are matched to other individuals. They're just looking for that fun ethnicity report. As well as sometimes we get these DNA matches who we are confident are good, close, solid matches, and they don't have a family tree. Not only do they not have a family tree, there's no way to contact them because they're not logging in. And if that one match is your key match, wow, you really need to find a way to find that person, to communicate with them. So I usually use this technique to recreate family trees for my DNA matches. Now, I have a couple of steps that I run through. I always begin, step number one, going to WhitePagescom. At WhitePages.com, you can log in or not. If you don't, you can still do a search by name and state, name and a city and state, and you can do pretty good. Okay, you can find a full name of an individual, maybe the city and state they currently live in or have lived in the last 10 plus years. You're going to find an age range. So-and-so is in their 60s or in their 70s or whatever. And you might even find in that level of searching some people they're related to. So that's wonderful. But if you want to go a step further, I suggest having an account to WhitePages.com. There are 3 levels of accounts. You can have one where it is 20 lookups for the price of $250 a month. You can do 100 lookups for $10 a month or 50 lookups for $500 a month. And when you are logged in and have that specific premium account, you're going to get a lot more detailed information. You're going to get an exact birth date. You're going to get the address where they currently live, addresses of where they have lived in the past, phone numbers, both cell phone numbers sometimes and landline numbers. You're going to get a death date. If the person has died, you're going to get a death date sometimes. Family members have their names listed, and not only family members or possible relatives, but other persons this individual might be connected to. So you can glean a ton of information from that. Now, I like to use that information, especially the relatives section, to determine who might be this individual's parents. To find the parents of an individual, you can do that by kind of guesstimating by looking at their ages. Now, it's not always accurate. Sometimes you're going to get an aunt or uncle in there, and so that won't be the parent. If the person was raised by their grandparents, maybe that shows up. But typically, you can determine who the individual's parents are by simply looking at that relative section and looking at the ages. Then, if I'm lucky enough to find that this individual has a parent who has died, I can Google that parent's name and maybe the year that they died and find an obituary. Why is an obituary important? It tells other living relatives and typically gives the name of the deceased's parents. So now I've got this individual who I've determined who their parents are using White Pages, found that one of the parents has passed away, Googled that parent's name and the year they died, found an obituary that then gave me the parents' names. So I now have 3 generations, and I work my way back doing just that, finding a dead person or deceased person and their obituary online or records, perhaps their death record online or some other genealogy record, and then putting that family tree together. Now, when I get desperate, I go to step 3, social media. Over at White Pages, you're given several relatives that this person might be related to. Sometimes you can immediately tell the relationship between the individuals, and sometimes you can't. So I use social media. I type in the name of the initial individual that I'm searching. See if they have a Facebook page. See if they have an Instagram page, Twitter, Pinterest. Lots of different options there. LinkedIn. And then, especially from Facebook, I can sometimes look in there and see who they've marked as their relatives on Facebook. People do that. Or they might say, happy birthday to my sister so-and-so, and they've linked that person's name. You click on there, now you've got this name of a sister, and you can just go on and on and on through social media. Sometimes they will say something like, we lost the greatest grandfather alive, and they put an attachment to their grandfather's obituary or memorial page or something like that. And so that can be really helpful to put together a family tree. So these are just a few ways, using White Pages, using Google, and using social media to find living relatives or living people. I hope that helps you out, especially with your DNA matches. I know that can be very frustrating when you are anxious to connect with a DNA match who doesn't have a family tree. But don't worry, maybe you can create it all by yourself with these techniques. Thanks for joining us on Genealogy Tip Tuesday. I hope that you will subscribe to our channel. We need you. Come back again for Genealogy Thoughts Thursday and Family Story Friday. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks. Bye-bye.